¿Quién de ustedes siente que tendría el talento para ser un espía? Porque hoy, que estamos hablando con Andrew Bustamante, él es exoficial de inteligencia encubierto de la CIA en los Estados Unidos. Y nos está contando lo que es ser un espía, lo que es saber recabar información, lo que es saber encontrar la fuente, lo que es saber ganarte la confianza de la fuente para que te diga lo que tú necesitas saber para proteger a una nación, en su caso, a los Estados Unidos. Pero en México también tenemos muchos espías. Lo más cool de todo es que Andrew tiene una plataforma que se llama everydayspy.com, tiene un podcast, tiene Twitter, tiene Instagram, y en un momentito más les va a enseñar qué cualidades debe de tener una persona para ser un buen espía. Les digo una cosa, no porque se van a ir a trabajar al ejército, a la marina, pero porque quieren saber qué onda con su esposa, su marido qué, los niños qué andan haciendo. Porque uno tiene que entender que la información es poder. I'm obsessed with that. I'm obsessed with that. That's one of my fights with my husband, because I tell him, it's because you're so not curious. What's wrong with you? You're telling me your friend got a divorce and you didn't ask him why? And he's like, well, I mean, does it matter? Everything matters. Everything matters. And I don't know. It's you must have certain traits, and we're going to talk about that right now. But how do you find the source? How do you make the source trust you? How long does it take? Who do you have to become? Because I imagine you have to become a different person for different circumstances, for different people. So tell us the story.
Before they're a source, they're called a target. So what we're looking for is targets first. And there's two primary ways that you find targets. The first is that you have a trained officer called a targeter who finds a target for you. They search the internet, they look at social media, they look at professional journals, and they find a target of interest. And then they create a profile on that target. Where do they like to eat? Where do they like to stay at what hotels? When will they be traveling? Who are their children? What is their car? What is their license plate? They'll build a whole profile so you can find that person. The other way we find people is by going where they go. Do you remember when you were single and you used to go to a nightclub?
Yeah.
Why did you go to the nightclub?
To find love.
Which everybody finds love in a nightclub.
Exactly. Never did.
But that's called putting yourself in a target-rich environment. So when you're trying to find terrorists, you go to where terrorists go. When you're trying to find narco-traffickers, you go where narco-traffickers go. If you're trying to find military scientists, you go to where military scientists go. And then you just shake hands. And you become one of them to gain their trust. So you may have never killed somebody, you may have never blown something up, you may know nothing about uranium, but you learn from them, and then you pretend to be what they trust so that you can start having conversations.
But that could take you forever.
On average, it takes about 6 to 9 months before you meet somebody and you go from first meeting to them providing you with intelligence, with secrets that are actually special.
So this is a long-term commitment. It's not like it's going to happen in 48 hours. You got to be in that shit for 9 months or to a year.
We actually call it the shit, being in the shit.
That's shitty.
It is. And that's what another reason why real espionage is so different than the movies. The reason that James Bond always gets shot at is because he tried to make a source in 2 days.
Exactly.
If you make it 6 months, they don't shoot at you.
Claro. So you have to basically become a different person for every job, because you're not going to be the same person with the Taliban in Afghanistan or Pakistan, or the same person with drug lords in Colombia. So?
What you're talking about is how you develop an alias persona or an alternate persona.
Yeah.
And we have to develop many of those. The trick, the key that nobody understands is that when you create a persona, you're creating a persona that you will stay in for 6 to 9 months, possibly 2 or 4 years. So you don't want to create somebody who's completely
that you cannot
different.
Sustain. Yeah.
You have to create somebody that's very close to who you really are.
Are you straight?
Yeah, I am straight.
Okay, you cannot act being gay for 4.5 years.
You can't.
You can't.
You can't pretend to like
Yeah.
when you
Guys,
don't.
yeah, when you don't.
So you have to stay what we say you create an alias that's 5 degrees different than who you really are. Just 5 degrees. If you've ever read a compass, have you ever gone for on a walk with a compass? Where you start, you can look at where you're trying to go. You're trying to go directly north. If you go just 5 degrees of north, for the first 5 steps, you're not really that far off. But after you've walked 2 kilometers, 5 degrees is a big difference. The same thing is true in espionage. When I tell you that I'm a narco trafficker, but I have 2 children and I've been married since a certain day and I'm educated from this school or this university, I studied this topic, I'm former military, all those things are true. You don't care about all those other things. So 2 years from now, I still remember I have 2 kids. I went to this school. I went to this university. I'm allergic to this and I like to eat that. I don't really change as a person. All the target cares about is what we call the cover for action. Why are you talking to me? Well, I'm talking to you because I'm a narco trafficker. And they just accept it.
Andrew les podría enseñar a ustedes a ser espías. Y tiene una plataforma que se van a volver locos todos ustedes que sienten en su corazón que podrían ser un espía. Se me acaba de informar que yo no podría hacerlo, lo cual me rompió el corazón. Okay, FBI, Navy SEAL, something. Could I be offered something? La plataforma se llama, métanse ahorita, les va a encantar, everydayspy.com. Is there like a test on the platform?
There is. There is a test on the platform.
To know if you would be a good spy?
And to tell you what kind of spy you would be best at.
Like what types of spy? Maybe I could be another type? What types of spies?
So in general, there are 5 types of operators.
Okay.
Right? There's planners, which are called masterminds, people who plan operations.
Okay.
There's intelligence collectors. That's your typical James Bond. There's paramilitary officers. That's like Jason Bourne. The people who collect information and then kill the person right away. You have your technical operations officer. That's like Q, or the people who invent all the gadgets. And then you have your analyst. And your analyst is the person who is super brilliant and can take all the information and make intelligence out of it.
Oh my God, I missed the Jason Bourne one.
That's called a paramilitary or tactical officer.
So like when you see Tom Cruise on Mission Impossible, like all the guys that work with him.
Yes.
That's like the real
his team. Yep, a technical person, an analytical person. He is usually the paramilitary person.
Yeah.
He oftentimes works with somebody who is a intelligence collection person.
Claro. Entonces on the website, you can find out who you would be.
Correct.
Could I be somebody, or would I be the woman that takes coffee? O sea, who am I? Who am I in this team?
CIA believes all people have a hidden spy ability, a natural ability that would benefit espionage. We just don't know what that ability is because we live in a world that makes us suppress our skills for deception. It makes us hide, the way we really feel to fit into society.
Yeah.
We learn how to hide our true selves. So CIA, one of the first things they do is they put us through a test where we discover who we really are. And that's exactly what I built on my website. You, in 3 minutes, can take the test that I built and find out with high confidence what kind of spy you would have been, what your hidden superpower, what you were born with really is.
Okay, could you do like a really general, fast quiz to everybody? Like ask us questions and let us answer that test to see, if we have what it takes.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to do one right now for you?
For everybody.
For everybody.
For everybody.
Okay. I'm going to give, every question will be multiple choice, and I will give 3 options.
Okay.
All right. Question number 1. You're trying to sell your car. What kind of ad do you put on the internet? Do you put an ad that says, I have a great car and at a fair price? Or do you put an ad on the website that says, I have a car that has to be sold right away? Or do you put an ad that says, I have a car that I love and I hope you will love it too?
So I would do B, because I think that people would think that since I'm desperate, they're going to get a better deal. So I'm playing like psychologically with them. So this is me.
Al contrario,
Okay,
al
voy a decir
contrario.
B. Okay, do you want to answer?
Question number 2.
Okay, question number 2.
espera.
Pregunta
Question number
número 2.
2. You're sitting at home watching a movie with your family, and somebody breaks through the front door. What do you do? Option number 1, you grab the whole family and you run out the back door right away. Option number 2, you run into the kitchen, you grab a knife, and then you attack the person who came in the house. Option number 3, you stand up and look at the person and say, "What are you doing in my house?"
Does he have a gun?
He has a weapon.
Okay. Trae una pistola.
Que no omita información.
Sí,
también.
sí. Don't hide information. We need information to take decisions.
Trae.
Te paras y le dices, ¿qué haces aquí? ¿Qué quieres, cabrón? Could I answer like B with a twist?
¿Qué?
It's a multiple choice question.
Okay.
You're forced to answer one of the 3.
Then I would do C. No, pero también parada, ¿qué le vas a decir? ¿Qué haces aquí?
Pues sí,
Y te va a decir, cállese, vieja
pero
tonta.
igual-
Siéntese y cállese.
Igual puedes escuchar y decir, no, nada más quiero.
No, es que vas a ver que nos va a salir Andrew con que muy mal.
Quiero una
Que es
mala-
la A, porque uno tiene que proteger a su target. Algo así nos va a decir, vas a
Yo
ver.
sí lo confronto.
I'm sure we're making a mistake because you're probably going to come up with, no, well, it's all wrong. You should have done A because protecting lives is the most important thing. Something like that.
What
Okay.
I will say is that we're only 2 questions in, and there's so much
Debate.
debate and conflict. You
Sí.
really start to understand why CIA asks the questions they ask.
Perfecto.
Sí, o sea, you really understand why you and I could never be a spy. Okay.
Question number 3, last question.
Venga.
You're trying to get a new job. How do you go about getting your new job? Option 1, you grab your resume and you polish it and make it shine. Option number 2, you reach out to your networks, the people who you know like you the most, and you start asking them to help you find a job. Option number 3, you don't tell anybody that you're looking for a job, but you start asking around to see who knows of open jobs and where might be a good place to work.
Donde hay oportunidad.
I am so going to fail this test. It's amazing.
A ver, yo sé.
Sí, o sea, I would say B. Okay.
Okay,
Now,
let's do the scoring.
Okay, let's do the scoring.
Question 1. If you said that you would put up an ad that said you love your car, then you are an intelligence collector. So just
Okay.
make a note, intelligence collector.
Okay.
If you said that
si
you...
pusiste C en la primera, de amo mi coche, espero que tú lo ames también, eres un colector de inteligencia.
Ok, bien.
If you say you have a car and it's going to go to the best offer, then you are a paramilitary officer.
Paramilitary.
That was A?
Paramilitary.
Is
That was
that?
B.
That was B.
B.
I'm a paramilitary officer.
And then if you say fair car, fair price, you're an analyst.
Ah, buen precio, buen coche, eres un analista.
Yo soy
Perdón,
un analista.
yo soy Tom Cruise. O sea, yo muy bien, ¿eh?
Question
Muy bien.
number 2. Someone breaks into your house. If you get your family out the back door right away, you're an intelligence collector.
Ok, si sacas a tu familia primero en la puerta de atrás, eres un colector de inteligencia.
If you grab a knife and attack, you're a paramilitary officer.
Ay, si agarras un cuchillo y atacas, eres paramilitar.
Y luego sé.
Y C.
And if you stand up and say, "What are you doing in my house?" You're an analyst.
Ah, y si eres C, que eres un analista. Ok, muy bien.
Okay, question number 3. You're trying to find a job. If you create a new resume, you're an analyst.
Si haces un currículum, eres analista.
If you go out to your network and start asking for help, you're a paramilitary.
¿Ves? Yo soy paramilitar, hija. Yo dije eso. Yo activo mi network.
And if you don't tell anybody, but you start collecting information, you're an intelligence collector.
Ya, Andrew, be our friend.
Yo ataca, Marta.
O sea, a ver, on the platform, Everyday Spy, what can we learn how to do?
Anything you want to do, you can learn from the platform because the whole mission of the platform is to give you skills that 99% of people don't have so you can get what you want. Get the money you want, get the spouse you want, get the salary, get the job, get the girl, get the car,
Get the information.
because the world is about information. Information superiority is the ultimate power.
I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. with information.
And that's probably why I think you would make a good paramilitary spy. I think that's what you passed on your test.
Thank you. Dijo algo muy precioso ahorita, Andrew. Es que la información es el poder más grande que hay. Why do you say it like that? Like information is
We
the
call it-
absolute power.
Every element of national security has a subsegment of power. The Navy is supposed to create sea power. The Air Force is supposed to create air power. The Army is supposed to create land power. Each of those powers are called superiorities. Over time, land war and air war and Navy war became obsolete. Well, what do we live in now? We live in an information age. So what is the war? What is the battlefield now? Information. So if you not only have the most information, but have the best, most accurate, highest quality information, you literally have power over everybody else.
Absolutely.
We live in a world where you can get anything you want online. You can find information about Santa Claus. You can find information about Donald Trump. You can find information about how much it costs to buy a new purse. But all the information is different. Different websites say different prices. They have different opinions. So people live in a world where most of the time we are confused. What is the truth? Where is the truth? What are the facts? Who's lying? Who isn't lying?
Yeah.
That's what we live in right now. Imagine not living there anymore. Imagine having all of your competition live there, all of your friends and family living there, but you don't. You can live one layer above because you can see the difference. That's what we teach on our website. That's
No,
what we
bueno,
teach.
O sea, is there like a membership?
There is a member.
No, o sea, 10-year membership. I'm buying that today. That's a competitive advantage.
That's a competitive advantage. And that's why we are dominating in our industry because we are the first. I am the first CIA officer to teach these skills. My wife is also a CIA officer. She was my targeter. The two of us operated in the field together, and now we run a business together.
No lo puedo creer. It was great to meet you. Can we talk again?
Anytime.
There's so many things I want to learn. Oigan, que hay una membresía. Y con your wife.
My
Y
wife,
con your wife.
my wife is born in Venezuela, and we wrote a book, and the book is how we did our operations together.
Oh my God.
And that book is called Shadow Cell. You can find it online. You can order it. It's called Shadow Cell, or you can go to shadowcellbook.com. I would love to bring her here to meet you.
Oigan, absolutely. You know what we're obsessed about? If you know one, can you bring him to me? I want a Navy SEAL.
I have one.
Okay, I want a Navy SEAL. Give me a Navy SEAL.
He's a handsome one, too.
Es que,
Pero no hay manera.
sí, no hay manera. O sea, Juan would not like me to date a Navy SEAL, a good-looking Navy SEAL. Oye, que voy a conseguir un Navy SEAL que estoy obsesionada y dice que tiene un amigo que aparte está bien guapo. Ya, les voy a conseguir eso. Y les digo una cosa, y les estamos regalando todos los días el poder de información de primera. Porque al final, como yo les digo siempre, el objetivo de este programa de 3 horas diarias no es venirnos a carcajear solamente o entretenernos. Es repensar lo que pensamos que pensamos. Es que ustedes tengan más y mejor información para que ustedes tomen mejores decisiones en su vida. Y yo puedo decir honestamente, cuentavientes, que yo creo que gran parte del éxito y del following de este programa es porque el equipo, Rebeca, mis niñas, Andy, todas, el nivel de exigencia de la información y de el que trae la información que tenemos para este programa es una vara muy alta. Y yo creo que ese es parte del éxito. Así es que, pues ya lo escucharon. Andrew Bustamante, exoficial de inteligencia encubierto de la CIA, hoy en W Radio, everydayspy.com. Obvio me voy a meter y comprar la membresía más importante, la más VIP. No. O sea, es que ustedes no han soñado con ser de la FBI o de la CIA o de lo que sea.